Okay, actually, I just want to do a little review of how the week went for me. Although this is not a new thing, on Friday last week, I actually gave my own view of the market, and you guys know that I mostly trade USD pairs. So I gave my own view of the market last week, talking more about the Euro USD because Euro USD broke structure. Sorry, couldn't break structure last week, and GU broke broke structure. So at the beginning of the week, both EU and GU we are doing two opposite things. So this is the reason why I told you guys that aspect where they say if one XXS USD is selling or buying, all XXS USD will be doing the same thing. I don't believe in that shit because it while sometimes it works, or let's say most of the time it works, there are times it would not work. So don't just go and do analysis on one of the XXS USD and you want to take a trade. You now place the same this thing for all XXS USD because some of those XXS USD like New Zealand USD and Australian USD, they have most of their powerful movements most of the time during the Asian session, and they also move during the London session, and at the same time they also move in the New York session. So last night before I went to bed, I just did something. I've taught you guys order block and things you need to know about the order block. Okay, I've done that with the old student, but I've not been able to do it with the new student yet. So I will fix a time, maybe towards the weekend we'll look at the other block. Then there is something I before I go to bed. I always review my. I always look at my chart to know what I will be expecting during the week. No. So sorry. I always view my chart to know what I will be observing during the next day. So before I slept yesterday, I just take a quick. I just look at the XXS USD pairs to see what they are doing, and I notice very different behavior among them. But the one I actually look at first was this NU. So I open to H1, and one thing you guys need to know is that these market makers, they create a sentiment in the market and they act against that sentiment. That's what they are doing. So one thing you need to know is you need to be able to view those areas where the trap volumes are, because that is where they will likely do their stop hands towards. They will do a stop hands towards that area, and once they've gotten to that area, they will grab all the contracts they want to grab, and with speed they will leave that area. So before I went to bed last night, this is what I did. I saw this trap volume area here. There is liquidity lying in this area. So before that, let me view this had not happened. This Asian session I drew here, this is my Asian session. It has not happened, so let me cover it. So this was what I was seeing the previous day. I can see the liquidity in this area from here to this point. There is this candle and this candle. They are weak, so there is liquidity trapped in this area. So before I went to bed, I just used this yellow box to mark that liquidity area. So I was expecting the stop hands towards there in the morning, but unfortunately they move during during the Asian session while we were sleeping. So they got to that box. Look at what they did. They got to that box. When they got to that box, they hit the stop. Welcome. And they drop. Now look at this, they dropped. Can you see it? Now if you look at this market has been doing what? Lower low and higher low. We know that this market has been moving up. Lower low, higher low, lower low, higher low. So the market has been trending downward. It has been a sell market ever since. And I told you guys, at that point where they've taken out the recent higher low, they know that the market has changed its trend. Now before they break this structure, remember I put my box there because there was liquidity hanging around this area. So the market maker, they will always do a movement towards that liquidity, which they've done here. So if I was awake at that moment, probably I would have taken this trade, because I know very well that NZD USD most of the time they move in Asian session. Not always though, but sometimes they move in Asian session, and also they give movement during the London session, and they move during the New York session. So this is one of the kind of best pair you can trade in XSS USD, NU and AU. They don't normally trap those pair very well like that, so they actually move that pair in every session. So they did this movement towards the what's it called, Asian session. Now let's go to M15 and see what happened on M15. Now look at this. It was a bounce on the 50 EMA, and if you look at the TDI, it is a bounce around that 50 level of the TDI. Can you see it? The 50 level of the TDI. And I told you, once you have a pullback to the 50, your entry will be at what? The signal line, cross of the signal line. So if you look at it, it was at this candle, this shift candle, that was when it crossed the signal line. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So that's where it crossed the signal line. So that could have been your entry if you can't pick, if you are not too sure of this entry. But if I was here, I would have picked this entry when they've what filled the liquidity in this area. When they fill the, I told you I can pick my trade in any time frame, be it H1, H4, anything, depends on what I want to see. So this was my H1 analysis. So I would have picked this trade at the heat of this area when this liquidity was filled. When they filled the liquidity, they did one more stop hunt above it to trick traders thinking they are going long. So if someone might be trading during this Asian session, maybe we have traders that trade during this Asian session, this movement might have taken, they may think this thing is buying. With this movement they did, they may think it's buying, so because of fear of missing out, they will pick their trade buy, and at the end of the day, you see they created this sentiment, but now they acted against the sentiment, they moved down. Now this for a sell. Now it hits the stop around here and it bounced back. Now once you've noticed that kind of movement in the candle, now look at your chart again. What can you see? If you look at your chart now here, while you are observing what? Lower low on the chart, a divergence on the chart, you can see on the TDI is showing what? Lower high. Can you see it? Irregular divergence. Irregular divergence. Can you see it?
Yes.
So is someone trying to join the group? How they say they check this in there? I know Sabi check out.
Just for that.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Sorry, please. Let me continue. So if you look at the, I don't know if you can hear me, please speak up.
I can hear you, boss.
No, I'm talking to Mo.
I can hear you, boss.
Our lady from Kenya. Can you hear me? I don't think she's with us.
I can hear you, boss. Mic is muted. A network, probably.
So if you look at the chart now, it's showing a kind of divergence on the chart. Now in TDI, it's showing what? Higher low, irregular divergence. Now what we were expecting to do is to trade this pair back to the high of the previous day, back to the high of the previous day. Yeah, back to the high of the previous day, and this was the high of the previous day. It's either we trade it back to the high of the previous day, or we trade it, take our first target to be what? 50 EMA, and the second target to be 200 EMA, depending on what the time frame you are trading on. But since you are trading on M15 now, look at M15 now, it's showing a very good form of divergence. Can you see it? Higher, sorry, lower low. Now this one is showing a kind of regular divergence. So this one is, we can call this, we can regard this one as multi-day W. Now let's go back to H1 and see this. Now you can see this was the recent swing high. Are you seeing it? Now they create a market structure here, and they came down, they took out this low, right? They took out this low, and I told you, once they've taken out the previous low or previous high, always look for a setup to retrace it back into the range. Now at this point now, your entry would have been at the close above market baseline if you are using BTMM. That if you are waiting for confirmation using BTMM. So now at the cross above the market baseline, it was at the close of this candle. So if you had entered here, you have entered in a very good position, and your stop loss will be somewhere around here. So your first target is the 50 EMA, and your second target is the 200 EMA. Now another thing happened in this structure. Another thing happened. What happened now is what? They've taken out the recent swing. I think her network is bad. Her network must be bad. So they've taken out the most recent swing. They've taken out the most recent swing. So this market now automatically has turned to a buy market. Now I have another order block around here. This is my order block around here now. This is my order block now, this place. So now you can see the way they are respecting this area. Now this is my other block here, because they've already taken out this structure, right? This structure, they've taken out this structure. So around here I don't have any other block, and every liquidity in this area has been grabbed. Every liquidity in this area has been grabbed. The only side that has not been grabbed is this area. The only liquidity that has not been grabbed. So don't be confused, please. I've not taught you this one, so don't ask me any question regarding this, please. So there is liquidity lying here. So there is a tendency that this market would want to come back to this area. There is a tendency that it would want to come back to this area to grab the liquidity here. And also there's another liquidity sitting around this area, this low. So it's possible that this market, they may reverse it back on Monday. But as for now, what I've seen is I want this market to come back here, which they may do on Monday or before the end of today. They will bounce on this other block and move the market back up. Now take note, there is another block around here. There's another block around here. This was the last swing high, and it was taken out with this movement down. It was taken out with this movement down. Now you can see what they are doing. They are trending around here. If this thing, they are able to go outside and take out this high, if they are able to take out this high, before this one. If they are able to take out, that is, they close above this other block before this one, then know that that market is a buy market. But if they close below this other block before this one, that market will sell. So these are your 2 points you have. You look at it on Monday to know what you'll be expecting. Now that's for NU. I was expecting this last night, sorry, today, which it actually did. We have a divergence around here, a regular divergence. Look at this, it's also a divergence. Now let's go to M15 and see everything that happened. If you look at M15, it was a bounce on the 50 MA and bounce on the 50 level of the TDI. Now if you want to look at the smaller picture, you have a regular W here. Now look at this thing. Your entry would have been what? At the close above market baseline, and at the close above market baseline it was this candle here, so if you had entered at the close, that is the candle that closed above 13 MA, so that's your entry. Your first target would have been the 50 MA if you have your own kind of trading plan, but if you don't have, then your second target will be what? The 200 MA, depending on what you are expecting in the market. Now look at this, that other block we drew on H1 around here. Look how it traded below that other block and came back quickly, and it's now bouncing on that place. So this 50 MA now is serving as a resistance. So if you are using ICT, you are trading using ICT other block, you might not have this 50 and 200 MA around here, but this BTMM also is an additional confluence. So to those guys that are just joining us, what I'm saying might be confusing to you, but those that are with me already know what we are discussing. So I just want you guys to see how I see the market. So that's why I shared this link with you guys. So those guys that are with me, they know what I'm talking about. Now that's that for NU. Now EU, yesterday, let's go back to H1. Yesterday I did this. Look at it. I did this yesterday. I drew the other block yesterday. This was the other block I drew, this one. Now look at what happened. They came inside that other block, but in 3 candle they left that other block. They bounced around it after they giving us this shift candle to break this other block, this last sell candle. They gave us a shift candle. They came back 50% of that shift candle, like I told you they would do, 50% retracement, and they traded around that side, and during the Asian session they move up. Now look at this. This is XXS USD, and NZD was also an XXS USD. But while this movement was going up, while this particular pair was going up during the Asian session, NU was going down during the Asian session. So if you are that type of person that believe if one XXS USD is selling or buying, the other one are also doing the same thing, if you had picked this trade and you pick NU also for a buy, you will get stopped in NU, you'll be in loss in NU while you are in profit in EU. Now if you look at it, NU move further than EU during the Asian session, so you would have lost a lot. Now I drew this other block. Now this was a buy order block, now they went above it a little, came back, bounced on it. You could have picked it at 50 level or at the bounce on the edge of the other block, and there you go. Now meanwhile there's another other block hanging around here. Look at it, hanging around here. Immediately this market came around here today, somewhere around 4 or so, I picked it. This and Justice is Justice here. Justice, Okay, so Justice asked me if I traded that news today. I said I showed him that I picked.
Boss, I'm here.
Okay. So I showed him that
I saw your trade now.
I showed him I picked this trade today exactly at this point because what my other block was waiting here, and they came to hit this other block. They came to hit this other block. Immediately they hit it, I picked it back down. And you see, when they got to this same other block again, they are respecting that other block. Can you see it? They are respecting that other block. So now, what am I expecting in this market? The first point, the first order block that will be broken, the first order block that is broken will determine where this market will go on Monday. Are you getting? Meanwhile, you can trade both ways around this area. So if you see your setup around here, you take it back to this point. If you see another setup around here, you take it back there. The first order block that will be broken. Now, note that there is another order block around here. There's another order block around here. This one. So if they broke this order block, this particular one, then this market will likely go up, bounce on it, and continue going up, or the market might likely come back to this point, bounce on this order block, and sell by breaking this one. But if they've not breaking any of this other block, just expect them to be trading around this area. So that's for EU. Now I picked GU also. Now this is what I did on GU yesterday. This other block, I drew it, although I drew it right from this what's it called, this buy candle. I was not supposed to draw it at this buy candle. This is supposed to be the area where I drew it from. Let me see. This should be my area this week, although we don't consider the week much. We want to consider where that candle close. Are you getting it? The only way when you can consider where the week close is if there is efficiency, if there is what's it called, inefficiency around this area, like liquidity is hanging around between this and this. There is a liquidity hanging around there, so I know they will come back to fill that liquidity. Now they did not get to this other block per se, they did not get to the other block per se, but there is a liquidity hanging around here. That liquidity hanging around there, that's what they took out, inefficiency area or imbalance. So they took out that liquidity and moved. Now they've created this sentiment, and they acted against that sentiment. Now if you pick this trade today somewhere around here at the when it hits this 50 MA and you pick it come back, you are good. You shouldn't have closed this trade. For GU, I did not pick GU at this other block because I was not expecting it to get there today. Though I was not expecting it to get there because I saw a lot of liquidity taken out. So I see this one to be a minor liquidity that will not be taken out, but these people, they are very greedy. They went back there to take out that liquidity. So this was where I placed my trade on GU today, but they came back to this point and I exited that trade in loss. I exited the trade in loss, though I was in profit somewhere around here. So I was expecting them to come back and take out this particular level, but news kept doing what it likes. So it got to this point, and I'm that kind of person. Once I see my this thing -3 -4, I'll close my trade. So it got to this point. So immediately I saw this inefficiency area, I picked it again. The same time I picked EU. So I was in a mad profit before the end of today. So that's it, guys. That's it. But now looking at this pair, looking at this EU GU, I don't want to predict GU now. I don't want to predict GU now, but I'm having a bullish order block around here, bullish order block, and now they've broken that order block. They've broken it. So what I'm expecting now, I will look for a new order block area. So perhaps this pair might continue going down on Monday, or it will come back, bounce around this area. But this is a buy order block. Sorry, it's for a buy order block. So I would have preferred them to respect this other block somewhere around here and go back up, but they've broken it. So I will have to look for this one. Now is violated, it has been violated. I will have to look for a new order block. Now this is a structure. This was the low of the previous day, right? Now they've taken out that low a little. Now if you look at the TDI, you are having what? Lower low, and the TDI is showing what? Higher low. So it's possible that you've gotten your W and they will move this market back up on Monday. So now this is the most recent swing low on swing high on M15, sorry, on H1. This is the most recent swing high on H1. So for this market to continue buying, that is for this market to go for a long-term buy, they have to take out this structure. They have to break this structure for a long-time buy. But note this we are having what? A lower low here, and TDI is already showing what? A regular divergence. So you can be expecting to take this market back up on Monday. So that's just it. So those are the pairs I looked at today. All these other ones are just there because of those other students. Whenever they pick something, I have to go and verify to see if they did the right thing. So that is why all these pairs are there. I don't actually look at them. So these are my main pair: EU, GU, US30 and BTC. So that's it. If you have any question. No question.
Yes, sir.
All right, now, so if there's no question, let me end the class here. So you guys should know that.
You're gonna ask question, no. You're gonna ask question, no. By force, you go first us.
So what?
Now be somewhere.
He wants to ask question.
Now be somewhere. Who be that person so that they will force us? Who be the person?
You say?
That mean I won't force you. Who be the person who doesn't want force us ask question? Who be the person?
I don't know. Now boss himself. No.
I dey suspect say na Freeman talk the word. Freeman, are you talk that word?
No be Freeman.
Yeah, no be Freeman. No be Freeman. If you be hero, you don't go change name to Samuel. Abi, person wey talk that group.
No be hero. Hero no dey. Yes. So that's it. You guys can use all these things. In fact, you don't need level counting again. Level counting are rubbish. They give person headache. You give person, just look at this market. Look at this market now. If you want to count level now, what are you having? Look at this trade drop. You can say, okay, this one. You can say from this point, you have a straight drop. You can say, okay, level 1 here, level 2 here, peak low, reset. Or you can say, oh, this one is high, level 1, level 2, level 3. I beg. This thing is so confusing, Joe. I don't want to be doing all those level counting. Level counting. Level counting as well.
Like over my eye, I know these levels again.
Level counting. Just look at this market since when it has been dropping. It has been dropping. Just dropping. If you look in between, you have sometimes you have more than one level. Although if you want to be looking at the smaller picture, you have level 1, level 2, level 3, peak low. Reset, level 1, level 2, level 3, peak low, reset. You see reset, straight drop. we set level 1 I beg level counting, I beg is for what's it called, those guys who they don't know what they do for you. So I don't want to believe in level counting again. Now this is a swing low, this is a point, this is one thing you guys need to know again is at the beginning, before all these movements today, it created this low yesterday, right? It created this low yesterday. So this is the point where you want the market to get to before you start looking for trading it back into the range. Now once it gets to that low of the previous day, look at what it happened. Because now let me tell you something, what these people are doing, I told you guys, they are just going there to grab people's order. There are some persons that believe that this area, once price break this area, the market will continue going down. They look at this area as a kind of support area, that once market have broken that support area, market will continue dropping. So there are a lot of sell stops around here. Now at this point here, there are a lot of buy stop around here. So the market went there, took out all those buy stop and came back down, took out all the sell stop. Are you seeing it? Now at this point, people that got this market right here, they bring them into the market down to this point. Those that are unfortunate to have taken out their profits or put this thing, they've taken them out with this move. And the reason why they did that is that they want to grab they want to hit the stop of both the sellers and the buyers. Are you getting it? So they want to take as much people as they can out of the market before they did their actual movement. So when I say I don't like trading, I just don't like it because it too dey suffer you. You go waste your time or do rubbish. So not that I can't trade news, I can trade it, which I actually did today, but I don't like trading it. So now this is the sell stop. They've come back, take out that sell stop. Immediately they grab that order, sharp they left that area so that people will not have a chance. So now those people that have already placed a sell here, now they've hold them around here. Those people, they're not going to sleep again till Monday. In Monday morning they will wake up by 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. in the night. They will look chat the following morning, while this thing will keep on gravitating around here. But they've already grabbed what they want to grab around here, so they've left that area. So let's go to M15 and see what is happening on M15. Now if you look at M15, it's kind of what a W. Can you see it? Lower low, a kind of higher low, the regular divergence. Are you seeing it?
Divergence.
So
yeah,
anything can happen tomorrow. So on Monday they might come back, flip this area, fall, give you a very perfect W and move the market up. So anything can happen. Just know that this is the first hit to the low, this is the second hit to the low. Perhaps they may come back for the third time and go up,
revert the market.
So it's possible that this market they are going to buy from Monday. Very possible, because if you look at the analysis we've done on EU and NU, look at NU. NU has already broken structure. Can you see it? NU has already broken structure. It broke this structure. Now it creates another structure around here. It went up, so it came back around that area. Are you seeing it? Around that area, but refusing to take it out and went back up again. So it has created a higher low. Can you see it? Is it higher low or lower high? Lower high. This is low. Okay, higher low. Yeah, it's creating a higher low. Look at another higher low it's created around this area. Higher low. So now if we want this market to take out this particular one for a buy to continue, but if it comes out, I'll take out this area first, so it's possible that it will reverse the market. So that is why the other block is there. We want to see what will happen around that area on Monday. Please note that this other block should involve all this area. Yeah, that's how to draw it. That's a bullish order block. So we want to see a bounce on this other block and movement upward, or if it comes back down, just know that this other block has been violated, so we have to look for a new other block. So is that clear now?
Boss.
You say?
No, I said yes, boss. Yes, boss.
Okay, so that's all for today. So I wish you a very happy weekend. Enjoy your...
I beg. Boss.
Yeah.
Prince Day here. Gentle Prince.
You say?
Gentle Prince Day here.
You don't come out.
I know.
Okay.
No, I did, sir.
Okay, you did.
Boss, I began question.
All right, ask your question.
But this my question goes to me.
What's your question? I need to hear you very well.